So listen, in this video, I want to show you how anybody can set up their own broadcast studio or media studio at home. You don't need any fancy gear. All you need is the consumer cameras, right? So this is a consumer camera, and you need the software. That's the laptop. That's pretty much it. So, right? So you can be doing, stuff like this, right? Interviewing remote guests. Let's say you have a guest, you can bring them in, and then you have your titles, right? You as the speaker, you're speaking, and then if you're let's say your speaker or your guest is talking, then you can also just bring them in full screen, right? So these are some of the, this is what you can do at home, right? With just simple softwares, right? Simple software, hardware, right? So this is what I want to talk about. I want to show you how to set this up from home, right? You don't need any fancy gear. As I said, you just need to know how to do it. So let us get into it. So listen, my name is Vita King. If you need training, right, I'm going to actually leave my link below here. Let me leave it on the screen here. So if you're looking for training on how to set this all up, if you have a commercial space or if you want to do it from home, if you want to be an internet broadcaster, the link is below. It's also on the screen, tollpublishing.com. You can book a consultation with me. I'm going to show you what type of gears, what type of hardware you need to set up your own online internet home studio. Now, I want to show you something, right? I want to show you something else here, right? Let's say you wanted to do a, you wanted to start, you wanted to be a sports broadcaster, right? You wanted to go out on the field, record a game that's going on, right? So listen, look at this. You can have stuff like this, right? These are what we call graphics or lower thirds or, templates that you can use, right? Or let's say, for example, there's a score that you want to, right? So this is a scoreboard. So this is a scoreboard. This is the players' lineup. Now, this is all, you can do all this with just the regular equipment. So this is a consumer camera, as I said. You don't need any fancy gears to start, right? You need a laptop. You need a software. So this is a software that I'm using. Now, you can use a free software like OBS. That will do the job. But if you want something more professional, something like this, where you can bring in images, right? Where you can bring in videos, for example, right? This is a photo here, right? So if you want something more professional, then listen, contact me. As I said, the link to our website is going to be on the description section below, and it's also going to be on the screen as well. So I'm going to put it on the screen as I speak, right? So this is the website here, www.tollpublishing.com. Now, as I said, listen, you can be an internet broadcaster, right? You can be a sports broadcaster. So let me show you an example what I mean by sports broadcaster. So let's say, for example, you are at a game, right? So this is the game, right? So let's say the game is going on, right? And you're the broadcaster. So you can have your score. So let me bring it up. Now, this is live, right? So I'm doing this live. So this is not editing. I'm not editing anything. So you can have your scoreboard up, right? So this is your scoreboard. Now you can edit this live in real time as the game is going on. So you can change the score live, right, in real time, right? Or if you want to bring out the player board that I just showed you, or this. So listen, this is all live. This is all possible, right? You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need any fancy gear. All you need to do is you need to have the strategy. You need to know how to do it. You need somebody to give you the training, right? So this is what you can do, right? You can, you have your score, right? Your scoreboard, right? And, and as I said, this is all live, right? So I'm doing this in real time, right? So I'm doing this live. This is what you call live production. So this is what you see in sports, in live sports, or in when you're watching the 6 o'clock news, CNN, Fox, CBC, CNN, all these companies. This is what they're using behind the scene, right? They're using a live production software, or it's called a live production switcher, to bring you all these different types of overlay or graphic, right? So for example, this is an overlay that you're seeing. And you can change this in real time, right? As I'm speaking, I can also change this. So if you are on the field, if you are, if you're a sports broadcaster, as I said, right, you can have your scoreboard, right? So you can, like, say, for example, right, this is the camera, right? So let's say you had a camera that was, that's recording, that's capturing the game. So you have your scoreboard, right? And then you can also bring in your your profile and stuff like that, your player profile. So this is all desktop, right? It's a laptop with the software, right? And then you can bring in your lower third, This is what you call a lower third, right? Now, as I said, contact us if you need training, if you need to know what equipments to use, right? So let's say you want to be a sport broadcaster and you want to stream live, right? This is something that you can use, right? This is a streaming device. This will stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, uh, stream to Twitter or X. It will stream to TikTok. So this, and with a camera like this is the consumer camera, right? You don't need anything. I'm using a DSLR, right? But you can also use a consumer camera like this if you want to if you want to be wireless, right? So this is a wireless setup. So if you're recording a game, or if you're at a game, soccer, baseball, you can use this wireless setup. Now, if you want something more mobile, then you will need a laptop, right? So a laptop, right? If you want to set up like this, like if you want to do something like this, then you need to be stationary, right? So you need a station, or you can do this from home too, right? Because as I said, this is just, right? If you're doing an interview, this is what you can do, right? You can bring in a remote guest. They don't have to be in the same city. They can be anywhere. And then you can just switch right, between you and then the guest. So this is what you can do. But you have to start thinking, right? Because there's so many opportunities out there. For example, if you're doing a game, if you are in the field, soccer game, basketball game, hockey game, whatever sports you're in, then you can have either a wireless setup, right, where you are. Let me bring myself back here, right? So this is a wireless setup, just the consumer camera and the streaming device. You can stream the sports game directly to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you're using, right? Or you can have a desktop. So a desktop or a portable setup. So something like this is portable, but you need reliable internet, right? So you need reliable internet to be able to do that, right? Now, as I said, right, you can bring in images, for example, right? So you can bring in images, right? You can bring in videos. So there's so many things you can do, right? So you can bring in video. Let me show you something here. Video. Let me find a video here for you, right? There's so many things, right? The possibilities are endless, right?
Welcome to the business of filmmaking, where dreams are made and sometimes, just sometimes, they come true.
Right? You can have a video on the background, right? You can remove the lower third, right? And then you have your video playing, or let me play the video, right? Because I think it paused. Let me come back here. Let me bring this. Right? You see, I'm doing this in real time. So this is real time. I'm not editing anything, right? So let's say you had a video, boom, you can bring in that video. Right?
In the shadowy corners of Hollywood and in the luminous streets of independent cinema lies an industry built on dreams, filmmaking. It's not just art, it's business, a high-stakes game.
Take it out because it was playing at the back. It's playing in the background. So this is the setup that you can have, right? Something like this, very simple, right? You don't need much. As I said, you can be doing online broadcasting, from home. You can be doing sports broadcasting, right? You can be doing, right? You can bring in image. So there's so many things. Now, I'm using the software. As I said, there's a software called OBS, so you can bring in image, right? You can bring in right, you can bring in image, you can bring in, what else can you bring? You can bring in different elements, right? You can bring in videos, right? So here's a video here.
You've got AI stars. Let's roll. All right, team.
Right.
Action. These bots aren't just actors. They're
out the
revolutionizing
audio,
the film
and then you
industry.
can just have this looping.
Who needs
on the
Hollywood
background.
actors when
So
we've
if you
got
wanted
AI
to,
stars? Let's
right?
roll.
So let's say you're doing the interview, you bring yourself in, right? You're doing the interview, you're talking, you have the lower third, blah blah blah, right? You're talking, and then you can bring yourself, right? This is all behind the scene, right? This is what you call live production. So while you're talking, right, you put yourself in full screen, and then when your guest is talking, right, let me come back here, merge here, and then when your guest is bring your guest here, when your guest is talking, you can bring them full screen, and then you bring back the setup, right? So just like that, right? And then you bring your guest full screen if that was your guest, right? And then you can bring yourself back in full screen mode. So as I said, listen, if you want to know how to do the setup, right? Because I've been doing, this is what I used to do a long time ago. I was doing live events, right? Live setup, live streaming events, live streaming conferences. So this is what I used to do. Now you can use the same setup for sports. So if you are streaming live sport, if you're streaming local sports, for example, right, you can also use the same setup as well, where you can be having lower third, as I said, right? You can have your scoreboard, right? Let me bring in the scoreboard here. So here's the scoreboard. Right? You can have your player lineup, team lineup profile, and so on. So right, you can bring in images, right? So this is images right here. So this is all live in real time, no editing. So this is what a lot of these companies use. When you're watching TV, this is what they're using behind the scene, right? It's just that most people don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, so they think that the production is magic. No, it's not magic. It's knowledge. That's what it is, right? You need the knowledge, right? So this is what this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this is the information here. So if you want to know how to set this all up, what kind of cameras to buy, what kind of hardware to buy, device, what kind of software to use, and contact me, contact the organization. We can do a virtual consultation, Zoom, so we can show you what type of equipment you need to set all this up. Now, as I said, you can do this from home, right? You can do this from home, or you can do it if you want to do sports. Then, right? Then we'll show you what type of what kind of sports, what kind of equipment you need. So let's say, for example, you're on the field, right? You're doing baseball, you're doing soccer, you're doing football, right? And you want to bring up a scoreboard, right? So you can bring up the scoreboard. So let me just find the scoreboard, or you can bring up it's the lower third, right? Or let's say you want to bring up the scoreboard. Here's the scoreboard. And then you want to bring up your player lineup. Here's the player lineup right here. This is in real time, right? I'm doing this real time live production. This is what you call live production. This is what a lot of these broadcasters use, internet broadcast, TV stations, right? This is the setup that they have. So as I said, listen, the link is going to be on the screen. It's going to be on the description below. Contact us for training. We'll show you how to set up your own broadcasting company. You can set up your own broadcasting company at home. If you want to go out on the field, if you want to stream local sports, events, soccer game, football game, hockey game, basketball game, whatever sports you want to stream, listen, you just need a simple setup, and you need an expert to show you the workflow, how to set it up, how to bring it all together. And this is why I'm here. I am the expert when it comes to broadcasting media. Contact us, contact me. The link is on the screen, so we can have a consultation, and I'll show you what type of device you need, right? You need, if you're on the field, you need a stable internet connection, right? Oh, almost fell. So you need something, you want a stable internet connection. So that way your internet, your streaming is stable when you're doing the live streaming and so on. So, but if you're not doing any live streaming, then you can just do what we call live production, right? So you're just doing the live production without streaming it. But the option is there. You can do both. You can stream it, you can do the live production, and so on. So, right, it's really up to you, right? And as I said, right, you also have the lower thirds, right? I can remove this, right? Actually, you know what? Let me end it by showing you that you can actually just do this live, right? So let's say you want to bring in, right? So let me show you something here. You can edit in real time, as I said, right? The King. So, right, and I'm gonna put the website here, www.toepublishing.com, right? So now you see you can do it in real time, or if you don't want to do it live like that, you can just remove it and then add the information and then put it up. So you see, the King, www.toepublishing.com. So if I come back here, I can just bring it up like this, right there. So that's me over there. And then I can also have the same thing for my guest as well, right? So there. In doing it live production this is an opportunity for you to stream local sports and get sponsors, get advertisers, create your own television production and get sponsors and get advertisers. See, the possibility is endless. So listen, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to see you all in the next video. I am out.